Hey guys, welcome back to Past Amazing. This video was sponsored by EA, and today we're going to be once again playing Command & Conquer Rivals. Now, I've said in my previous two videos that I'm super excited to be playing this game in cooperation with EA, and this game is honestly so fun. Command & Conquer Rivals is a real-time strategy mobile game by EA's Redwood Studios. It's all real-time strategy, like I said. You have complete control over your units throughout the match, which is necessary to win, and the touch controls are super intuitive and responsive. Now, the great thing is that you can now download Command & Conquer Rivals globally. It is available around the world on the App Store or the Google Play Store, so you can go ahead and click the link in the description down below to go ahead and download the game. Now, you can improve your gameplay by understanding the different interactions between units. For example, it will help you to understand how to counter different units, recognize what units your opponent is using against you, and understand common strategies that you can use. Now, before we get into some gameplay and some strategy in Command & Conquer Rivals, let's go ahead and talk about the top 10 tips that I think you guys should know when playing this game. So let's just jump right into it. The first tip I want to tell you guys is that expensive units are always worth it. So right now you can see here I have some cheap units. So I have the Riflemen for 10 Tiberium, the Shockwave Troopers for 40 Tiberium. But now later, as I scroll over to the right here, I got some more expensive units. You know, this thing right here is the Titan. That is 150 Tiberium. The Zone Troopers are also 120 Tiberium. So there's a lot of expensive units out there. And but what I'm trying to say is these expensive units, they're always worth it. You gotta save up your Tiberium using harvesters or just waiting for it to naturally pile up to get these higher units, because these are just so much more powerful. If you get 15 Riflemen, that's 150 Tiberium. That's not as powerful as one Titan, 150 Tiberium. Like, let me tell you, you always want to save up for these more expensive units. Now, I know that some opponents will try to play super aggressive on you. They'll try to prevent you from building up your Tiberium. But generally, your goal is to save up Tiberium to get these more expensive units because they're just so much more powerful. All right, number 2 tip I want to give you guys is don't forget about the missile platforms. There's a lot of games that I'm playing where, you know, I'm trying to just basically defend my base or try to counter the guy's units, that I'm sort of forgetting about the missile platforms. Remember, whoever controls the most missile platforms controls that nuclear missile. And that nuclear missile, when it reaches the full bar, will fire at the player who is not controlling the missile platform. So sometimes I've just forgotten about that platform. The opponent sneaks up his units into the platform. Suddenly, next thing I know, I've got a missile firing at my base. That's not a good thing. So yeah, do not forget about those platforms. Always be watching them. Always make sure that your opponent is not controlling that platform. Okay, number 3 tip is be able to identify units and their strengths and weaknesses. So in the match, you unfortunately aren't able to like click on any of your units and, you know, immediately see what that unit is, or you can't click on the enemy's units and be able to identify that. That's sort of something that you just have to know. So in matches where I see these two like troops carrying like these huge like lightsabers, or I don't really know what to call them, when I see them marching over to my base or something, I know they're zone troopers. I've been able to identify them. The same thing goes for you guys. You want to be able to identify what your opponent is dropping. You want to know what it is strong against and what it's weak against. All right, number 4 tip is collect your free crate. So up here on your home menu right here, you can click the shop icon, go to crates, and right here, that first one, the common crate, you get a free crate around every 8 hours or so. So I already collected mine like 4 hours ago, so I get another one in 4 hours and 39 minutes. And this is like sort of your free crate around 2 or 3 times a day. So why not go ahead and collect that thing, get yourself some extra gold and stuff like that. All right, next is link your account to EA. This is the 5th tip. So you guys do want to link your account to EA. You can go to the settings down in the bottom right here, go to link account, and I've already linked my account to my personal Gmail account, but you do want to link your account as well, because you don't want to potentially lose your data if you accidentally delete your app, or if you accidentally lose your phone or something. Then you can pick right back up if you are connected to EA ID, you can pick right back up on another device. But otherwise, you risk losing your data, and that's obviously not a good thing. So the first thing you do when you download the game is connect your account to EA ID. All right, number 6 on this tips list is join an alliance to get donations. Now, I haven't really created an alliance yet. I've sort of just joined this random one with one of my friends. But yeah, you guys should definitely join an alliance. There's a lot of like recommended alliances. If you're not in an alliance yet, you can click on them and join one. And the great thing about joining an alliance is that you can get donations. So you can request right here. You can request for cards, for commons or rares. So I'm going to request for the Shockwave Troopers. No, sorry, the Missile Squad. Those are the Missile Squads. I can request for them, and my Elucidator, who's the only other guy in my clan right now, can donate one to me, and obviously that's really helpful. If you also donate to other members in your alliance, you can receive gold and experience points as well. Alright, number 7 on the tip list is watch the CCTV replays to get better at the game. You can access the CCTV in this globe tab right here. It's the network tab. Go to CCTV, and there are all these nice replays that you can watch from the top players around the world. You can basically get better at the game. You can also change the league. So I'm in Gold League right now. I want to see what's popular in my league. I can go ahead and check out what people are using and maybe improve my own strategy. So definitely go ahead and watch these replays and get better at the game. All right, number 8, complete the daily bounties. So the daily bounties are accessible from the checkmark tab, the bounties tab, obviously. And as you can see, I've completed 3 out of the 5 bounties so far for today. The bounties reset every day, and every time you complete a bounty, you get a small reward. But the best part about the bounties is this chest right here. You can unlock this chest once you've completed 5 bounties. So I've already completed 3, and I've already collected this reward, so now it resets. And I'm really looking forward to that next chest because, or this next crate, because I can just get a lot of more cards and stuff like that. So yeah, be sure to pay attention to those bounties and try to complete them every day. All right, the 9th tip is turn the sound on when you play the game. Now, I know I'm not following this right now, but that's because I can't record sound while recording. That doesn't work with my screen recorder. But otherwise, when I'm off camera, I always turn the sound on when I play the game. Make sure in your settings menu, the sound effects and the music are turned on. Now, the reason you want the sound turned on is because during your matches, you can get so much more information just from the game sound. For example, the music changes when the missile platform is about to launch. So if your opponent is controlling the missile platform and you sort of forgot about that, and then you suddenly hear the music change, you know, okay, shoot, I gotta get my units on the platforms, I gotta start controlling the platforms before the missile fires at me. So that's just one example of how the music really helps. And so yeah, just basically turn on this sound when you play. All right, the last tip I want to share with you guys, the 10th one on here, is turn on the game notifications so you always remember to collect your crates. So you can obviously turn on the notifications in the settings right there, make sure those are checked, and also make sure that on your device, push notifications are turned on iOS. They actually have a pop-up there for you if you want to turn on post notifications when you first start playing the game. So make sure you do turn on the post notifications so that you never forget to collect your free crate. They give you that reminder. You don't forget to collect your crate down here, which is the one that you can order. And so yeah, make sure you never forget those. And yeah, guys, those are my top 10 tips that I want to share with you guys regarding Command & Conquer Rivals. Hopefully those will help you become a better player in the game. So let's move on to the next part of this video, which is I'm going to show you guys my deck and walk you guys through it, all right? So here it is. This is my deck right here. I have my Commander. This is the Lieutenant Strongarm. I have Riflemen. I have Shockwave Troopers. These are my infantry units. Then I have an air unit. This is the Orca. This is aircraft. And then I have 3 units in the tech lab. I have the Wolverine right here. I have the Zone Troopers. And then I have the Titan right here. Okay, so this is my deck, and I'm going to explain to you guys how this works. So this is a GDI deck, meaning that it's in the GDI faction right here. There's also a NOD faction, which uses different units. But in the GDI faction, this is my favorite. And basically this involves, like I said in my tips, just building up your Tiberium to eventually be able to unlock those heavy units like the Titan and the Zone Troopers and the Wolverine. And the goal of this is just to basically overwhelm the opponent with so many high level and high duty units that you basically win the match, right? So now I'm going to show you guys a replay and let you guys know how I use each of the units in this deck. So I'll go to match history. I'm going to show one that I won just because I want to show you guys how this is supposed to work. I don't want to show you guys my mistakes. But yeah, okay, here. So we are facing another GDI player. You can tell because their headquarters is it looks the same as mine. So we're both in the GDI faction, and as you can see in this deck, I start off with deploying both harvesters. The harvesters basically speed up your Tiberium production, so I want to do that. And he starts off with trying to play aggressive and try to send troops over to try to take out my harvesters. But then I realize what he's doing, and I send my own troops over to basically go ahead and take him out there. Okay. So basically, as you see right now, these are the Shockwave Troopers, and these are relatively inexpensive, and I basically use these at the beginning of the match in case the guy tries to, play aggressive and start deploying his own infantry. My Shockwave Troopers are super effective against infantry. However, they're not able to attack aircraft. So as you can see right now, that aircraft is basically just chipping away at my Shockwave Troopers, and I can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. But I do send my Wolverine over because at this point I have saved up enough Tiberium to be able to unlock the Wolverine. And he deploys his turret, but it's a little bit too late because the first missile launches on his base. Now, note here that I'm using the Wolverine, which is super effective against aircraft and infantry. So when I start bringing that Wolverine over, it's going to be pretty good on these Zone Troopers, although the Zone Troopers at the same time are also super effective on my Wolverine. So the best way to counter the Zone Troopers is with my Shockwave Troopers. So I was actually just about to say, my Shockwave Troopers are used at the beginning of the match, and they're also used later in the match if I want to counter Zone Troopers, because Shockwave Troopers are good against Zone Troopers. Wolverines I use to take out aircraft, like I tried to do right there, and Wolverines are also used to take out infantry units. Now later, I'm going to start deploying additional stuff. Right now I've got some more Shockwave Troopers coming down to take out that Zone Trooper standing in the middle platform. He just keeps sending a lot of Zone Troopers, and that's probably his fatal flaw, because he's got to change it up. I'm just going to keep sending Shockwave Troopers to counter his Zone Troopers, and that's not good. That's the reason I was able to win this match, because he just kept sending the same stuff over and over again, and I eventually was able to basically predict what he was about to drop. And as you can see right now, his Zone Trooper is doing a good job against my Wolverine, but my Shockwave Troopers are good against the Zone Troopers, and I am able to take those out. Now, I keep sending Wolverines because he keeps sending those aircraft things, so I have to take those out, but at the same time, I want to send my Shockwave Troopers to take out his Zone Troopers. So this match was pretty much just the Wolverines and the Shockwave Troopers. In other matches, I usually do deploy other stuff. I usually deploy the Zone Troopers to take out enemy vehicles, because Zone Troopers are good against vehicles. And I usually deploy the Titan also to take out vehicles. So, yeah, it all depends on the match. This one, he just kept sending the same stuff over and over again, so not really that good of an idea for him. But besides that, yeah, it looks like this match is doing pretty well for me. I've got stuff on 2 platforms. I'm controlling the missile platform. Now the missile is beginning to launch. Will his Zone Troopers make it on the platform in time? No, they will not. So the second missile launches on his base, and I win the match. So I'm going to show you guys one more replay with when I used more types of units. So let's just look at this one right here, the one I did right before. I do think I used a more variety of units in this match. And anyway, so we're going to take a look at this one again. So, like I said, I started off with deploying the Harvesters, and this deck is a slow deck. Because, I want to build up my Tiberium. This is not an aggressive deck where I'm trying to get a quick win. No, this is a late game. This is a very slow-moving, building up deck. Okay, so I got my 2 harvesters down, and I'm gonna wait up to be able to start unlocking those heavier units. So this time, he does not go aggressive on me. So that's a good thing. I like when people don't go aggressive. I like when both of us are late game type of people, if you get my drift. So yeah, here I drop my shockwave troopers. I start controlling the platform. He starts dropping his vehicle, but he doesn't quite make it all the way to my shockwave troopers. And yeah, okay, now I drop my riflemen. I'm trying to control that second platform, but he does have a bunch of vehicles which are super effective against my riflemen. So you can see they're shooting from a super far range, and I can't really do anything about that. Okay, so let's see. Let's start waiting for this game to progress a little bit, and I'll tell you guys how I'm able to react to my opponent's moves as the game progresses. So right there is my Wolverine, and this is actually a mistake on my part because I don't know what those vehicles are. Like those vehicles he has in the back, I don't know what they are. And that's why I said earlier in my tips that it's so important to know what the enemy is deploying. I'd be able to identify their stuff because I don't know what those vehicles are. I don't know what they're good against. So, you know, I'm setting my Wolverine. Is a Wolverine good against... I mean, are they good against my Wolverine? Or, I mean, it looks like they're doing quite a bit of damage to my Wolverine, so I'm going to assume that Wolverines are not good against those vehicles, whatever they are. Now on the bottom there, I got my Zone Troopers. The Zone Troopers are good against Wolverines, so if his Wolverine ever tries to step up on me, I can pretty much just take him out. Now here I drop my Titan to try to go ahead and take out some of these vehicles. And the Titans are super powerful. Just look at how much damage it does as soon as it starts getting a shot off right there. Look at that. One shot's that vehicle, it's done. This Titan is so amazing. And as you see, it takes that out as well before succumbing to that other vehicle. So I drop another Titan thinking, hey, this is probably going to work. However, he drops his Zone Troopers, and Zone Troopers are super effective against my Titan. So I immediately pull it back, and I have to send out my Wolverine, who are better against the Zone Troopers. Now, I don't know why I sent my Titan back. That was actually not a good move. So I move it out of the way as soon as I can. Now I drop my Zone Troopers to counter his Zone Troopers, which I guess is an okay move. I drop my Titan on the bottom one, and this is looking pretty close so far. As you can see, the missile platform is just stuck there, but I drop my Titan on there, and the Titan has enough hit points so that it stays on the platform, and I have enough time for that second missile to launch, and that is a game right there. So, what did we learn from this match? Well, I played the deck the same way. I started building up my later units. I was able to unlock the Titan. I was able to unlock the Wolverine and the Zone Troopers. That was accomplished, and like I said, each has their own purpose. The Zone Troopers are good against the Titans and the Wolverines. The Wolverines are good against infantry and aircraft, and the Titans are super good against vehicles. And as you can see, when the opponent was trying to take out my stuff, I was countering my opponent's moves with the appropriate units that are super effective against his units. So when he started dropping Zone Troopers on me, I took out my So when he started dropping a bunch of vehicles on me, I pulled out my Titans to take out those vehicles. When he started dropping Wolverines on me, I took out my Zone Troopers to take out the Wolverines. So it's all about countering, and I think that's the most important part. Being able to effectively counter your opponent, that is how you're able to achieve victory using this deck. Okay guys, so hopefully that was a good explanation of that deck. Obviously, you'll only be able to use that if you have all these units unlocked. But it doesn't take that long. I mean, I'm only level 13. I have all these units unlocked. So it should take you like maybe a week to get all this stuff. And then you should be able to start using my deck. Or alternatively, if I'm not the best player at this game, which I probably am not, you can go check out CCTV for some even better replays from the top players. Okay. Alright, so now the last part of this video, I want to talk about map analysis and being able to analyze maps and see, you know, the choke points and how to win in each map. So there's actually different maps in every league. So I'm going to show you guys these right here. So, alright, here. As you can see in the Gold League, there's like 5 different maps. And they're randomly chosen for every game that you play. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Hidden Gems one up in the top left. So the yellow square symbolizes where the missile platforms are. The green symbolizes where the harvesters are able to harvest Tiberium. The blue and the red symbolize each of the respective bases. And the gray symbolize the stones. And these stones are placed on the map, and your troops cannot go across these stones. So they're sort of like choke points on the map. You know, your units have to go around, and that could waste a lot of time and stuff like that. So, taking a quick look at this map, we have to analyze it and see how we can use this map to our advantage. So as you can see, all the harvester stuff is at the top of the map. Now, what does this mean? If you're playing an aggressive deck where you're trying to take out the enemy harvesters, then you can send your whatever you're going to be using, attack bikes, whatever that you're using to take out the enemy harvesters. You can send them right up to the top because you know the enemy harvesters are going to be somewhere at the top. You know, in some other maps where the harvester spots are more spread out, you sort of had to guess where they placed their harvesters. Not here. You know they're at the top. You can send them immediately up there and start taking them out. Now, also about this map, those choke points are actually really interesting because, you know, let's say the rock on the left right there, the rock on the top left. Once your harvester is occupying the square directly left of that stone, your other troops can't get past that. It's a choke point because the harvester is taking up that hexagon. So if you want to send your, I don't know, Wolverine up to that topmost spot right there, you can't because the harvester that's occupying the spot that's directly left of the stone is blocking the path, and the stone is also blocking the path. So if you want to reach that topmost square, you have to send your unit all the way around that stone, and obviously that wastes time. And I've personally experienced this problem in some of my matches using this map. Alright, so also about the Hidden Gems map, there are 3 missile platforms. That means you can do some quick calculations. If you want to win, you have to control 2, and your other opponent controls 1. So some of the maps, like Battle Quadrants, only has 2 missile platforms. Most have 3 though, so you just got to be wary of that. In the Battle Quadrants one, if your opponent controls 1, you control 1 missile platform, then it's tied. It's a stalemate. So that's a little bit different. But in this one, if you control 2, you are in good shape to control the missile platform. Okay, moving on to Middle Oasis right here. This is another map, and this one is a little bit different. All the harvester stuff is in the middle, so that's interesting. Now that could actually pose a problem because all the fighting is going on in the middle. So if your harvesters are all trying to harvest in the middle, the enemy troops can pretty much have it right there in front of you. So that could be a good thing. So if you're using this map, it maybe not a good idea to deploy harvesters. Maybe not. Maybe you want to play more aggressive in that case, because if the opponent just starts taking out your harvesters, you lose your Tiberium advantage. They gain Tiberium from destroying your harvesters, and maybe that's not a good idea. You know what I mean? You just sort of got to calculate this. Now, also in this one, there are 3 platforms. They're really spread out though, so you can't transition units between platforms that easily. They have to travel a long distance in between the platforms, so that's something to take note of as well. All right, Battle Quadrants is the one on the top right. And I've just I just talked about this. This one only has 2 missile platforms. So if you think about this, you have to control 1 and be able to fight in the other one as well. You know, so if you control 1 and the other one is contested, then you still have the majority. But if you both each control 1 platform, that's a stalemate. That's not gonna work. So in this map, what I would recommend is So if you're playing on this map, what I would recommend is that you go more aggressive. You know, you maybe send out, you maybe keep a few units on the platform that's on your side of the map, but then you have to go all out on the other side because that's where you got to really push forward. So you got to go more aggressive. You got to go more out to that opposite platform because that's where the main fighting is going to occur. If you can control that platform, then you're going to be in really good shape to control the missile platform and win the game. Also note that in this map, all the Tiberium spots are all spread out. You know, so there's one right next to your base, but there's also a few like off to the side and stuff like that. You know, so this means that your harvesters will be split. If you have 2 harvesters, one will go for that one that's closest to your base. Obviously, the other one will have to go farther out. So if you're one of those players that likes to go aggressive and start taking out the enemy harvesters, probably not a good idea on this map because you're going to have to be moving your units around a lot. You're going to have to be moving it from the place where one harvester is all the way down to the place where the other harvester is. That just wastes a lot of time. It gives the opponent more opportunity to stock up their own Tiberium and start defeating your units. So, you know, maybe not a good idea to play aggressive with the harvesters. So maybe not a good idea to play aggressive by destroying harvesters on the battle quadrant map. Alright, we're almost done, guys. So the bottom left one is the rush in map. This one has 3 missile platforms. One is in the direct center, and then there's 2 like at the top, one on each side. So in this one, what I would recommend is, first of all, easily you have to control the one on your side. You know, the platform that's closest to your base. You gotta get that down. Deploy at least 1 unit on there to keep it safe. Now, most of the fighting, in my experience, happens on that middle platform. That's where all the contesting happens. So you gotta be able to fight on that middle platform well. And you gotta focus on there. At the same time, you can't neglect the platform that's on the opponent's side, because sometimes the opponent forgets about that. They assume that it's safe. You know, they're just gonna deploy some random cheap unit to keep that platform in on their side. Suddenly you start sending up some heavy units to their side and start playing aggressive and control the platform that's on their side. You're in very good shape to carry the game, because usually your opponents don't really expect you to play that aggressive and, you know, go for the platform that's on their side of the base. So that's what I would recommend on this map. Our last map in Gold League is the Bullseye. This one is all platforms really close to the center. And the good thing about this is that, you know, you can easily transition units between your platforms. So if you have, I don't know, zone troopers on the bottom left one, and you also have some a Titan on the top one, you can easily transition that Titan down to the bottom if you need help with fighting. You can transition the zone troopers up to the top if you need fighting up there. You know, I really like that. And also that center square directly in the center is also really good for deploying turrets and deploying stuff like that, because, you know, it's just directly in the center of everything. You can shoot all around it, and that's a really good position to be in if you control that very center hexagon. Okay, guys, those are all the maps in the Gold League. 5 maps, and for every league, there's different maps. So for Silver League, there's different maps and stuff like that. You just sort of gotta know the maps and know what's best for each map. Sort of do what I just did with the Gold League analysis. Analyze each map. Think about where your harvesters are going to go. Think about how close the missile platforms are, and use that to determine your strategy for each match. So that is going to be it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. I do realize that this was a pretty long video, but I had a lot of strategy and stuff like that to go over. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, I'm going to give it a like down below. Also subscribe for more videos. I will be having more CNC videos and stuff like that coming out soon. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.